have vanquished Cameron Robinson from the stage and claimed it back for myself. Hey folks, Chris Waters here, live from GameSpot's E3 stage show, and it's Diablo 3 time. Correction, not simply Diablo 3, it's Diablo 3 Reaper of Souls Ultimate Evil Edition, which I think Johnny, that's how you have to say it, right guys?
I believe that's the correct way of saying it, yes.
Awesome. Well, you guys are here from Blizzard to show off the PS4 version, the Ultimate Evil Edition, and we've got it playing right now, so let's just hop right in there. And you guys tell us a little bit about what makes this so ultimate and evil.
Well, first let's start off with, when you get the Ultimate Evil Edition, you get all of Diablo 3, right?
Yeah.
So you get the original game, you get all the great classes, Acts 1 through 4, but in addition to that, you get all the great content released with Reaper of Souls. So you get Act 5 with here you're seeing Sir Johnny play the beginning of Act 5. You get the new class, the Crusader. You get Adventure Mode, and you get a slew of really cool console-specific features. So
very cool features.
Yeah.
I mean, the console, I think that transition for Diablo with Diablo 3 has been so well received. So many people just sort of really liking the dual stick feel, like feeling it's a natural fit for the action and the fluidity of play. Certainly in the GameSpot office, we've got a lot of fans. So it's out on consoles already. So you guys got to kick it up a little bit for the PS4 version, though, right?
Well, we did. I think there was some great challenges there. But I think you mentioned how good it feels, right? And it's really important for us that from the beginning, it really felt like it was hand-built for the console. And so one of the things we added is something we call action combat. Right, so we took all the destruction bonuses, all the massacre bonuses you find on PC, and we really sort of umped them up a level, and so now you can create these sort of cool combos to give you some really significant boosts to the experience. We also make sure we use a trackpad and the DualShock 4 controller, and so it really feels like this is one of the first big RPGs to hit the next gen of platforms. So super exciting.
Yeah. Well, you mentioned the touchpad there. What am I doing with the touchpad?
So, one of the things we did with a touchpad is, again, we didn't want to come up with a gimmick, but this is a game where you're picking up a lot of loot and you go into your inventory, right? So you can use a trackpad to select items in your inventory and sort of move back and forth, and it's just a different way of getting to your items, but one that feels that makes great use of that feature on the DualShock 4.
Cool. Right on. Sort of giving folks another option now. You mentioned sort of amping it up here. Who is this sinister fellow with the glowing parts?
She is she's the Death Maiden. So the story behind that you'll encounter in Act 5 is that Malthael, the Angel of Death, wants to vanquish all life on the world of Sanctuary, and of course it is your job as a player to say no and to stop death.
Actually, I would prefer it if you did not. Asking politely turns out is not very effective against the Angel of Death.
No, it doesn't work. It doesn't work. He's a little stubborn.
I was expecting you guys to get to Act 5, it just becomes dialogue trees, and you try to convince him, talk him out of it, but you went a different way. I think it was probably better.
Yeah, so we just got to punch him in the face.
Really hard with my souped-up punch attacks.
Yeah.
Of course, you see on screen you've got the sort of different abilities mapped to the different buttons, and chaining these all together and sort of working them in a complementary fashion so that you have that play style. You've got it all kitted out. So much of the Diablo appeal is experimenting with that, finding that niche, and then just making yourself better at it.
Exactly, right? And that's something that, we really wanted to make sure, like, on Reaper Souls and the Ultimate Evil Edition, that your items need to feel legendary, they need to feel epic, and you're really going to change the way you play the game.
All right, well, you guys had a little shout-out in the Sony press conference on Monday, and it was revealed that enemies from The Last of Us are going to be making an appearance in the Ultimate Evil Edition. Before we talk about the nitty-gritty of those nasty beasts, how did that come about? Did you guys think, like, you know what, we have an incredible menagerie of gross monsters, but
why more?
We need to get some more gross monsters.
Great question. I think Sony's been such a great partner. They have a love for their players that for us at Blizzard is really important. And then we were talking about how can we make the PS4 version feel sort of unique to PlayStation as well. And we have good friends at Naughty Dog. We love The Last of Us. And for
you and me both, buddy.
Yeah, I mean it just felt like such a great way to add a feature to Adventure Mode by adding a Last of Us sort of themed dungeon with the monsters, the lighting, and it's just a really sort of cool sort of way to tip our hat at a great game.
So you spend a lot of time in the world of Diablo, and then you guys added like a Pittsburgh level that's just really run down.
Well, you know, something like that. Something like that. Maybe not Pittsburgh, but like it's definitely looks like it belongs in The Last of Us.
The Last of Us. All right, and it's not just like one or two. You guys have brought like a whole menagerie of clickers and
Totally, like the
and,
whole
plague
the whole
affected.
menagerie. The whole
Yeah.
family's there for you to kill and loot. So
To kill and loot.
Yeah.
And speaking of, any Last of Us themed loot? I mean, can you pick up like Ellie's switchblade
No.
or like Joel's kind of ratty rifle? I don't know why you would want that.
no, but the other sort of cool feature we're adding for PlayStation 4 is the one we announced yesterday, which is a Shadow of the Colossus transmog look for your character.
No
So
kid.
you can look like one of the giant creatures from Shadow of the Colossus, which looks fantastic.
Wow.
Yeah.
That sounds
Very
badass.
cool.
All right, well, Last of Us, Shadow of the Colossus. What else you guys got up your sleeves here? We've seen like some Ratchet and Clank, you know, goofy weapons coming in there. Maybe some chains of what are Kratos's chains of vengeance or
blades.
whatever? Yeah.
You know, no announcements at this moment, but you know, it's we'll see.
All right, all right. Well, you know, I think with the transition to consoles, came sort of the introduction of being able to play locally on consoles. Talk a little bit about the multiplayer options for Ultimate Evil Edition.
Well, it's all the greatness that you had in the original console release, right? So you can play online, you can play offline, but I think the game really syncs when you're playing on the same couch. Like Johnny and I, except I'm not playing, which is kind of weird because my fingers want to do something.
Are your fingers twitching there?
Yeah, they're twitching. But the team added some really great features when it comes to playing playing together. One of them is my favorite one is what we call Nemesis kills. So like right now, as Johnny's playing, if any of those monsters on screen were to kill him, that monster would level up and step through a portal, and then he would go infest any of your friends' games, anybody in your friends list. So he dies in this game, and the next time I log on, I might be playing, the music gets dim, like a Jaws kind of soundtrack comes up, the portal opens up, and his nemesis jumps through it and says, like, Johnny's killer, and then he's going to try to kill me. It's a really challenging fight. Now, if I kill him, we both get a cool reward. If I don't, he'll level up again.
Yeah, what happens if he starts cutting a swath through you and all your friends' lists?
He will continue rampaging.
Then you're in trouble.
Yeah, well, but
Or
whoever kills him, like,
gets
people
the
will get
loot
rewards.
benefit.
Yeah, and then that sort of cascades down.
Excellent. Well, we've got a question here from one of our resident GameSpot Diablo aficionados. Diablo aficionados. You guys have a term for that? For the Diablo fans? Players. Could use a little work, but we'll allow it for now. Eric wants to know any chance of cross saves from the PS3 version to the PS4 version.
That is one of the big features that was important for us to add, is being able to migrate your PS3 character, your level 60 Demon Hunter. You'll be able to import them into the Ultimate Evil Edition, and you'll be able to start playing sort of right, from level 60, get them all the way to level 70. So it's really important for us to have that cross functionality.
Excellent.
Yeah. So.
And of course, it's not just Diablo 3 that you've got here. It's also the Reaper of Souls expansion.
Right.
And so that's a lot of Diablo.
That's why we call it Ultimate Evil, right? It's got all the Diablo.
I don't know, man. I mean, what if you want to release an edition after this? Where do you go from Ultimate Evil? You guys have kind of tapped it out there.
Let's get, we're Blizzard. We'll find a way.
It's all right, yeah. Have you read our loot descriptions?
Yeah.
We got range.
Yeah, we do.
All right, Diablo 3 Ultimate Evil Edition coming to the PlayStation 4. You guys have this up and running here on the show floor at E3?
We do. We do. Our friends at the Sony booth right across the way here. You can start play it. So, we have play remote play. We have all the goodness there.
Have you been seeing some? What's been the reaction from folks so far? Have they just been like very focused on trying to shred their way through and get some loot during their short time with it?
I think people have been very excited. First of all, it looks great. Like runs on, it plays 1080p, 60 frames per second, and it looks really sharp. And again, it's like the first sort of RPG to hit the next gen, right? So again, it's some players who may have heard of Diablo but never had a chance to play it, and now going to get a chance to find out what the loot's all about.
Well, not not like now exactly, but when? When is this release date coming upon
You know,
us?
that's cool. Usually at Blizzard we say, well, we can't talk about that yet. You know, no, August 19th.
August 19th.
August 19th.
A scant 2 months away,
Yep.
if my month math is correct,
Yep.
which I'm not sure it is. It's been a busy day. All right, Josh, Johnny, thank you guys so much for coming on, showing off Diablo 3 Ultimate Evil Edition for the PS4. Have a good show.
Thank you for having us.
Catch you guys later.